Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul, the Canadian Snowman, here, of course, with some more Diadochi Wars Battle of Ipsus. Ipsus? I think Ipsus? I don't know. 301 BC. This is the last installment of this series. It's the finale, guys. Once again, we're at a finale of a series. This has definitely been a very exciting series, very different series, and it's definitely a very underrated series. Underrated, I guess, wars, I should say, because a lot went on, and a lot of different stuff went on, like a lot of different stuff that we didn't really see from previous series, and I thought that was really cool. I'm going to go ahead and say thank everyone who came through this journey with me in this series. I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the very end. Always thankful. So, yeah, we're going to close it out here. Is it Antigonus and Demetrius? I'm horrible with names. You guys know this. They had a little hiccup last year. Demetrius kind of got hung on. Forget that island name and those people. Kind of lost a battle there, lost some men, lost some ships. I don't think the ships are probably really going to matter in this next set of battles or campaign or whatever. It was a battle. I guess it's one battle. I mean, sure, there's more than one, but yes. So I guess we're going. What's that guy's name up north? I don't know. But anyways, we're having basically the dogs that are left in the fight. It looks like they're going to be fighting. Ptolemy, I don't think he's going to be much of a factor in this last episode. I think he's kind of fine with holding on to his land down south in Egypt. But yeah, not much really else to kind of say except for let's jump into things. And it's the end of the series. I know this is probably falling on deaf ears, but like and subscribe button, guys. Woohoo! Because if you stick around long enough, you've either already subscribed or you just don't want to. So, yeah, we're going to jump into this and see what last episode has to offer. And here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1, bam.
It is 304 BC. And following 11 years of almost constant conflict, the great climax to the Wars of the Successors is fast approaching.
Here we go.
Compared to previous fights, this bloody engagement would overshadow all before it. The Battle of Ipsus.
Battle of Ipsus, yeah, that's right. This is like the fallout after Alexander the Great dies, and I get kind of like, the transition period into like I don't know. I had something smart to say and kind of forgot. Anyways.
Following his failure to capture the city of Rhodes, Demetrius set sail for Greece as ordered by his father. Much had changed on the Greek mainland. Cassander was once again active in the area, and for the past 2 years, the city of Athens had been fighting a war against this Macedonian king.
Here we go.
Although initially successful, by 304 BC, Athenian resistance was crumbling, and the city was besieged. Cassander had also defeated the Athenian fleet, and now blockaded the city by sea. Athenian capitulation seemed almost certain. But as Athens appeared doomed to fall, news reached Cassander that would alter his plans completely. He learned that Demetrius had landed at Aulis with a large army. Fearful of being surrounded, Cassander quickly broke off the siege and headed back towards Macedonia.
Here we go.
Yet Demetrius managed to intercept his forces near the Kallidromo mountains, and in the ensuing engagement, 6,000 of Cassander's Macedonians deserted.
Damn.
Humiliated, Cassander and his remaining forces withdrew into Macedonia. Rather than pursuing, Demetrius now turned.
I'm guessing Cassander hasn't really had much of a fight, hasn't really showcased any kind of wars yet for Cassander. So maybe a bunch of easy battles for him so far, but now Demetrius has come with a real army. I guess the guys are like, yeah, we're good. I don't feel like dying for you, Cassandra. We're getting out of Dodge or Law. Who knows? They could just they could have switched armies, and joined Demetrius. I guess they might have said that if that was the case, but I don't know. But yeah, the things are definitely kind of going for Demetrius, like I said in the previous video, because Cassandra, we know what he did anyway.
Into Macedonia. Rather than pursuing, Demetrius now turned his attention to affairs in central Greece. In the Peloponnese, the influence of Cassander and Ptolemy was still formidable, and not wanting to leave his forces exposed, Demetrius launched a full-scale campaign in the region. The result was an overwhelming success. Both
Nice.
Cassander and Ptolemy's holdings in the Peloponnese were removed completely. Demetrius now aimed to consolidate his new gains. Not only did he declare the cities free, but Demetrius made one other critical move. At the isthmus near Corinth, Demetrius was proclaimed commander of the Greeks, following in the footsteps of both Philip II and Alexander the Great.
Wow. Okay.
Nearly all the mainland Greek cities south of Thessaly, except for Sparta, were incorporated into this grand alliance and contributed troops to the young Antigonids' army. His control of Greece was now secured. Having accomplished this, Demetrius then married the Molossian princess Deidamia, and thus allied himself with the Epirot League to the west. Now he could look north towards his goal, Macedonia.
Here we go.
In the meantime, Cassander had been watching Demetrius's actions with growing alarm. An invasion was only a matter of time.
Oh, yeah.
Desiring an end to the conflict, Cassander sent envoys to Antigonus in Syria offering peace. Yet Antigonus had no intentions of stopping. There would be no peace unless Cassander gave up all his belongings to the Antigonid kingdom.
Yeah, that was a Hail Mary. Cassander was like, it's worth a shot, What's the worst he can say is no, and obviously no happened, or maybe he was trying to kind of like bide for time, to get his forces kind of rally together or figure out a new plan. I don't know, but yeah, dude, they're not. Yeah, there's going to be no peace now until you surrender.
The message reached Cassander in 302 BC, and he naturally refused. War was inevitable,
Yep.
and he now called for aid from his neighbouring Macedonian ruler in Thrace, Lysimachus. Lysimachus's role in the previous wars had been almost non-existent, as he had been prioritized with a lingering barbarian threat across the Danube River. Yet this was all about to change. Now, Lysimachus travelled to Pella to aid Cassander. They dispatched envoys to strengthen the alliance against Antigonus further.
I mean, I can get why they teamed up because, he's afraid that once he takes Cassander's, territory, he's just going to march north and take his as well. So it makes complete sense that they join forces because they both want to keep their territory and all that stuff. So
They dispatched envoys to strengthen the alliance against Antigonus further, to Ptolemy in Egypt and Seleucus in Asia. The grand coalition against Antigonus was beginning to take shape.
yeah,
Ptolemy quickly accepted the offer and prepared his army once more.
okay.
Yet Seleucus's reply would take much longer to reach them. At the time, Seleucus was far away in India, campaigning against the Mauryan king Chandragupta. Yet the war did not go well for Seleucus, and after suffering a defeat against Chandragupta, he was forced to give up his most eastern lands to the Mauryan Empire. In return, Seleucus received a staggering 500 Indian war elephants. With these beasts in tow, Seleucus began to march back to the heartlands of his empire in Mesopotamia. Not long after he departed India, the envoys from Cassander finally reached Seleucus's army and asked for his assistance. Seleucus accepted the call and commenced his long journey towards Asia Minor.
This is like totally building up to some freaking awesomeness here. Antigonus and Demetrius are going to be surrounded here because you're going to have Ptolemy coming up from the south. Then you're going to have Seleucus coming from the east. And then you're going to have Cassander, Cassander, and then what's his name up here? Olympicus. I can't pronounce it. But yeah, they're coming from all four sides. Well, three sides, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how, because Antigonus and Demetrius looks like they might have to split their forces, because I think they're going to need more than just the two leaders to fight this. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there, and it'll be interesting to see how the allies, how they kind of communicate with each other, or if they start butting heads, because they all leaders in their own right, and Demetrius and Antigonus, they want the same thing. They're going to work together great. So, but it's going to, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see the dynamics between the allies and how much they get along, I guess. I don't know.
Meanwhile, back in the west, the first move against Antigonus had been made. Two armies, under the command of Lysimachus and Cassander's best general, Prepolaus, had launched a surprise attack on Antigonus, invading Asia Minor and quickly capturing much Antigonid territory in the west.
Okay. Wow.
Antigonus had been residing at his capital at Antigonea when he heard of Lysimachus's unexpected invasion. Although now 80 years old, he quickly prepared to lead his army once more. Arriving in Asia Minor in the autumn of 302 BC, Antigonus pursued Lysimachus's forces around the Anatolian plateau. Eventually, however, winter descended and both forces retired to await the spring.
Man, Antigonus is old. Man, I think the best thing the Allies can do is kind of draw this war out. Because if Antigonus passes away, and that's pretty old, back in those days, right? Just draw this war out. I think Antigonus goes down, the war is over. I don't think Demetrius is going to be able to hold on to it all by himself. So yeah, this will be interesting to see, if Antigonus can hang on and kind of fight him off here. So let's check it out.
Yet it would be then that news reached Antigonus that would turn his plans upside down.
Here we go.
In record timing, Seleucus and his great army had arrived in Asia Minor. If more information on his march had survived, we would likely regard it as one of the most fascinating military achievements in history, eclipsing that of even the great Hannibal Barca over the Alps. Pressing on, Seleucus soon reached Lysimachus, and they united.
Yeah, that is a great point. If they had more information, it could have been just as big as Hannibal or bigger. And just think about all the history that's been forgotten or been lost, all the history that's been lost in the past that we just don't have anything documented. I'm sure there's a lot of great things armies have done and generals and all that stuff have done. It just hasn't been recorded or it's just been destroyed through history. So it's definitely a good point there.
Their armies soon reached Lysimachus, and they united their armies.
Okay.
As for Ptolemy, he and his army at that time were besieging the Antigonid city of Sidon in Syria. Yet he would advance no further, as a false rumor had reached his ears that the armies of Seleucus and Lysimachus had been crushed by Antigonus. Believing the rumors, Ptolemy returned to Egypt with his army.
Wow.
Back in Asia Minor, realizing that he was now greatly outnumbered thanks to Seleucus's arrival, Antigonus sent word to Demetrius, ordering him and his army to cross over from Greece and join him for the impending showdown. Demetrius duly obeyed, and having landed at Ephesus, he quickly recaptured many of the cities on the coast that had defected to Lysimachus. He then joined his father at Celaeni. With both forces substantially reinforced, They now awaited the spring and the climactic battle that would soon occur.
Oh my god.
As the winter subsided, on a plain near the town of Ipsus in Phrygia, the two great armies collided.
Yes!
Antigonus had in his army 70,000 infantry, mostly heavily armed pikemen who were battle-hardened from many previous campaigns. These he deployed in the center of his line, along with the best mercenaries money could buy. On his right wing, Antigonus placed Demetrius in charge of 5,000 of their finest cavalry, among whom was the young, exiled Molossian king, a man called Pyrrhus. On his left, Antigonus deployed the remaining 5,000 of his horsemen, and in front of his line, Antigonus placed his 75 war elephants, with light infantry stationed close by, protecting the beasts. Seleucus and Lysimachus' army was similarly large. In their center, they deployed their own infantry, 64,000 strong.
Okay.
Many once again were armed in the Macedonian manner, although Seleucus' infantry consisted mostly of various Asian levies, hailing from his kingdom's heartlands in Mesopotamia to Bactria and the Hindu Kush in the east. They equally divided their cavalry on both flanks, placing 7,500 horsemen on each wing. As for his elephants, Seleucus deployed a portion of them in front of the army line. The rest he kept in reserve. Seleucus also had a number of scythed chariots, but they were not used. The battle commenced with an elephant charge by both sides, with the infantry following up close behind.
I think you should put all the elephants up front. Like, I don't think there's much to gain from having them behind. I don't know what kind of good they're going to do behind. I just think for war elephants, just put them out all in front. Put them out in front from the get-go and let them do their damage, because later on, when you want them to attack, they're probably just going to be running into a mixture of men and probably do just as much damage to your own men. So, I don't know. Who knows? Watch this. I'd be totally wrong here, and they'll make a big, it'll be a big thing of what happens to those elephants at the end here. But anyways.
Meanwhile, Demetrius ordered his elite cavalry wing to charge their opposing horsemen, which were under the command of Seleucus' son Antiochus. Quickly overwhelmed, Antiochus and his cavalry retreated from the fight, with Demetrius in hot pursuit.
Wow.
In the center, the phalanxes had engaged, and very quickly the experienced foot soldiers of Antigonus began to push those of Lysimachus and Seleucus back. An Antigonid victory looked likely. Yet it would be then that Seleucus used his secret weapon. Having finally called off the pursuit, Demetrius reorganized his cavalry and started to return to the battlefield, intending to crash into the enemy infantry line from behind. Yet Seleucus had anticipated the move. As soon as he saw Demetrius returning, he deployed his 300 war elephants in reserve to block the young Antigonid's path. Demetrius's cavalry was blocked and powerless, their mounts
I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Right off the bat, I was wrong. Good job by leaving your elephants back to protect you. It definitely worked. Yep, I'm wrong. No surprise.
Demetrius's cavalry was blocked and powerless, their mounts unwilling to charge directly into elephants. Seleucus now gave the fateful order. He ordered their light cavalry, equipped with javelins and bows, to wheel round onto Antigonus's now exposed right wing and hail a rain of missiles into the dense Antigonid phalanx from its weak flank. Outflanked and unprotected, Antigonus's army soon crumbled. Antigonus himself remained on the field until the end. Even as the enemy forces approached, he never gave up hope that Demetrius would return and turn the tide of battle.
Wow.
Yet Demetrius never came, contained by Seleucus's great beasts. Never losing confidence in his son, Antigonus perished in a shower of enemy javelins. The man who at multiple times in the past 20 years had controlled great swathes of Alexander the Great's empire was no more. There ended the Battle of Ipsus. Antigonus lay dead on the field, and his son, despairing, fled to Greece. From there, Demetrius and his descendants would continue the fight, eventually taking control of Macedonia for the next 100 years. Antigonus had been very close to achieving the nigh impossible goal of reuniting Alexander's empire. Yet with his death, a new epoch began, and Alexander's former empire was forever fragmented between the remaining successors, never to be reunited again. As for the victors of Ipsus, they enjoyed the spoils of war, dividing Antigonus's vast lands in Asia Minor and Syria between them. Yet almost straight away, new quarrels stirred up. In Syria, immediately the seeds for a new dispute between Seleucus and Ptolemy arose. Each would claim control, with neither giving ground. War once again loomed. Ipsus was the end of one era of Hellenistic warfare, but also the beginning of the next. And in our future videos, we will discuss the Pyrrhic, Macedonian, and Syrian wars. So make sure that you are subscribed to our channel and press the bell button to be notified.
Wow, there you have it, guys. Man, wow, what a battle, man. I don't think I've ever been more wrong with those war elephants, but hey, come on. I give my opinions, and you can't be right all the time, right? So I was definitely wrong there, and Antigonus, man, he went down fighting. I mean, he's 80 years old. He's probably thinking, he was definitely counting on his son, but he was like, man, I'm 80 years old. I'm not retreating. I'm either going to be saved by my son or I'm going to die fighting with my troops. So he went down, probably lived a long, amazing life, and he went down fighting. I mean, not many great, I guess, great generals really do that. A lot of them kind of, they just die of old age, or like Alexander the Great died of sickness, and he went down fighting. And then Demetrius, I couldn't believe how much those war elephants kind of held Demetrius back. I just think of elephants. He had cavalry. You think maybe the cavalry just go around the elephants, I guess. But I guess it's not that easy. He also had a lot of war elephants up there, so wow, they held them off, and he had the cavalry come all the way to the other side and then start flanking them all the way across. Man, I thought for sure something was going to happen before that cavalry got all the way to that side, but nope. And Antigonus, just went down, and yet once Antigonus went down, that was it. Like that, the war's over. I don't know what Demetrius is doing now. Looks like he's just chilling over there, probably mourning and getting ready to fight in the next stage of this history. Whatever, this is I guess the end of the one stage, and like they said, the beginning of another, whatever they call it. But yeah, definitely an awesome war. A lot happened. A lot of land was switched out throughout this. Cassandra's still alive, and I mean it looks like was it Willis? I can't pronounce that. The guy above Cassandra with the L. He seemed to gain a lot of land throughout this war. He only had that, it seemed like he doubled up on his land. Cassandra seemed to just keep pretty much what he already owned. I mean, he took back what Demetrius took from him or from earlier, but it didn't seem like he gained a whole lot. And Seleucus gained a lot of land. He basically took over the biggest chunk of Antigonus's land there, and then Ptolemy kind of took some more land back himself. So I guess they all kind of got some more land amongst themselves. So, and people are never happy with what they have. I guess communication is not as great back then. So the whispers of maybe someone attacking, and it's always best to be the one that takes the initiative. So I guess this whole thing's just gonna blow up again, and I guess we'll end up seeing what happens. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing next. If I'm just gonna continue this or jump on something else and then come back to this later, I haven't really decided yet. Uh, but I really appreciate everybody watching along with me through this series. Like I said, thanks a lot. Definitely very fun. Let me know your thoughts below and what you thought about this series, and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll just catch you guys in future videos. Another amazing war. Yeah, we covering a lot, aren't we, guys? Woo! We went through a lot of wars together. But anyways, yeah, thank you. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, please, and thank you. And catch you guys in future videos. I guess leave some requests down below if you want me jumping on to other things and come back to this. Because I might. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because like I said, I might just jump on and do a couple other few videos, and then come back to this time period to kind of finish stuff off. I don't know. Just to kind of keep things mixed up, because I know like a lot of people, some people aren't interested in this time period, and so I might jump back and forth between time periods just to kind of keep people happy. But then no one ever really. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Just bear with me, and yeah, catch you guys in future videos. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Love you, and I am out of here. You guys have a great night, great day. Peace.